For decades, the United States has engineered some of the most powerful and precise military weapons in modern history. Among them stands one of the most destructive conventional bombs ever built, the GBU57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, weighing a jaw-dropping 30,000 pounds. This monster of modern warfare recently made headlines when it was deployed against the Houthi rebels in Yemen, a calculated move that not only shifted the tide of conflict in the region, but also signaled to the world just how far American military capabilities have evolved. The rise of the bunker buster. The concept of penetrating deep underground enemy hideouts wasn't new. In fact, it dates back to the 1991 Gulf War, when US military strategists realized that traditional bombs were ineffective against fortified bunkers buried deep below the surface. Iraq's underground command centers were practically untouchable using conventional munitions. Enter the GBU-28, the first true bunker buster, hastily developed in record time to meet urgent battlefield demands. Weighing about 5,000 pounds, it was initially dropped from B-2 Spirit stealth bombers and F-15E fighter jets. Although only around 600 pounds of the GBU-28 was made of explosives, its dense depleted uranium shell allowed it to punch through layers of concrete and steel before detonating. A revolutionary feat at the time. Smarter, deadlier, and precision guided. Early versions of the GBU-28 used basic fuse mechanisms, but as adversaries improved their bunker defenses, the US responded with technological upgrades. Smart fuse systems were introduced, enabling warheads to detonate only after penetrating a specific number of hard surfaces. This made them significantly more effective in reaching underground targets that were once thought impenetrable. Despite its success, the GBU-28 had limitations. Its relatively smaller payload and penetration depth soon proved insufficient, as countries like Iran helped groups like the Houthis in Yemen build deeper, stronger underground facilities. The birth of the GBU-57. By the early 2000s, the need for a far more powerful penetrator was apparent. Defense contractors Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin teamed up to design a much larger bomb. The GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, a 30,000-pound behemoth capable of crushing the most fortified targets. However, lack of funding initially stalled the project. It wasn't until the early 2000s during the Iraq invasion that renewed interest revived development, especially when existing bombs failed to perform as needed. Eventually, the Air Force Research Laboratory took over the project, with Boeing handling design and testing, Eglin Air Force Base working on the munitions, and the B-2 Spirit chosen as the delivery aircraft. The stealth bomber's unique design, subsonic speed, radar-evading structure, and massive payload capacity made it the only aircraft capable of carrying the MOP. Deployment and global impact. By 2007, modifications to the B-2 allowed it to carry 2 of these mega bombs. The first operational deployment of the GBU-57 happened in December 2010. Its existence remained a closely guarded secret until its power was showcased during a critical operation in Yemen on October 17, 2024. In response to escalating Houthi attacks on commercial and military ships in the Red Sea, the United States launched airstrikes using the GBU-57. Targets included deeply buried missile storage facilities located in natural cave formations around Sana'a and Sada, regions long suspected of housing Iranian-supplied weapons. According to U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, these strikes were a clear demonstration of America's ability to destroy even the most fortified enemy positions. More than 20 militants were confirmed dead in a single strike, and multiple underground facilities were completely obliterated. The Houthis, a growing threat. The Houthi movement, officially known as Ansar Allah, originated as a socio-political group within Yemen's Zaidi Shia minority. With increasing financial and military support from Iran, the group evolved into a heavily armed faction capable of challenging not only the Yemeni government, but also regional powers like Saudi Arabia and global actors like the United States. What initially began as a demand for political representation quickly transformed into a full-blown insurgency. The Houthis began targeting American and Israeli interests in the Red Sea, launching missile attacks on naval ships and merchant vessels. By early 2025, they had carried out over 170 attacks on U.S. military assets and more than 140 assaults on commercial ships. In retaliation for a March 16, 2025 attack on American personnel, President Donald Trump ordered an aggressive military response the following day, resulting in the deaths of over 50 Houthi fighters. The situation quickly escalated into a large-scale campaign aimed at dismantling the Houthis' military infrastructure. strategic bombing locations, and tactical gains. The GBU57 strikes focused on 3 key locations near Sada, Jabal Atan, Al-Hafa, and Nandin. These areas have long served as storage hubs for missile brigades, many of which were housed within mountain bunkers. Not only did these bunkers date back to the 1980s, but they had also been continuously reinforced and expanded with Iranian help. The use of the MOP bomb was critical in neutralizing these hard-to-reach targets. While traditional munitions would have caused minimal damage, the 30,000-pound GBU57 shattered rock and steel like paper, sending a stark message to America's enemies: no bunker is safe. Global ripples, allies and adversaries react. The attack didn't just impact the battlefield, it reverberated globally. Allies like Israel, who were the first foreign buyers of the original GBU-28, purchasing 100 units in 2005, immediately expressed interest in acquiring the GBU-57. With shared enemies in Iran and Yemen, both Israel and Saudi Arabia are reportedly lobbying for access to the bomb and the B-2 Spirits capable of deploying them. However, the history of arms sales between the US and Israel is nuanced. Past administrations have denied sales of certain technologies, such as the F-22 Raptor and the V-22 Osprey. Despite this, the Trump administration has reportedly considered greenlighting the transfer of the GBU-57 and the B-2 delivery systems to Israel, which could fundamentally reshape power dynamics in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, long plagued by Houthi aggression since 2004, is another potential buyer. Aiding them with advanced weaponry could reinforce regional alliances, but it could also trigger diplomatic tensions. The stealth powerhouse B-2 Spirit. The effectiveness of the GBU-57 is heavily reliant on its delivery system, the Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit. First unveiled in 1988, the B-2 remains one of the most advanced stealth bombers ever made. Designed with radar evading capabilities and capable of flying at subsonic speeds at high altitudes, it can infiltrate heavily defended airspace with minimal risk. Its design lacks vertical stabilizers and uses a flying wing layout, making it extremely hard to detect on radar. This stealth allows it to approach and strike fortified targets with little warning. Combined with GPS-guided munitions, the B-2 and the GBU-57 form an almost unstoppable pairing for deep strike missions. A deterrent statement to Iran. Beyond the immediate destruction in Yemen, the bombing served a dual purpose: a warning to Iran, which continues to back the Houthis with weapons, training, and funding. With the MOP now proven in live combat, US deterrence has been significantly reinforced. The Pentagon's actions also reflect a broader shift in strategy, showing adversaries that the US is not only willing, but capable of taking decisive action when provoked. While diplomatic channels remain open, the military message is loud and clear: diplomacy or dominance. Despite its overwhelming military strength, the United States appears to be pursuing back-channel diplomacy to reduce hostilities. According to insiders, informal talks are underway with Iran, the main backer of the Houthis, to ease tensions and prevent further escalation. Nonetheless, Washington remains fully prepared should diplomacy fail. With newer weapons and advanced delivery systems, the US is now better equipped than ever to engage in modern warfare. The use of the GBU-57 is not just a tactical victory, it's a strategic signal to adversaries and allies alike. And that wraps up today's deep dive into America's most powerful bunker buster, the 30,000-pound GBU-57. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next mission.